If you're an aspiring model or you're currently modeling right now, let's be real. This industry can be so tough to break into. If you agree that this industry is so tough to break into and to know the nuances of it, please raise your hand, because that was me when I first started modeling. Now, let's be real. As a new model, I'm sure you probably tried to look up online how to become a model. Raise your hand if you search on Google, on YouTube, how to become a model. What are the steps to become a model? And then raise your hand if you were just left very confused at the end of the day, and you felt like you didn't really get real answers and actionable steps of how to become a model. Well, I have been there. I have been there. Trust me, I have been that girl that has been just endlessly searching online, looking for answers of how to, how to do digitals, how to join an agency, how to write an email script to agencies. Like, I've done it all. I have joined an agency before and been very successful model. Now today, what I want to do is I want to break it down and make it very simple. I'm looking over because I have some notes. And what I want to do is I want to start answering some of the most common questions that beginners ask, beginner models and aspiring models ask, okay? So is it okay if I look over on the side of my notes as I am trying to see some of those common questions I have written down that I have answers for based on experience and expertise. Is that okay with you guys? Okay, fantastic. So the first most common question, let's go back into the questions here. What are digitals and why do agencies ask for digitals? So essentially digitals are very simple pictures and photos that show you in your most natural form. They show you without makeup, or if you are wearing makeup, it's very light amount of makeup. You're gonna have your natural hair. And generally you're gonna be dressed in all black, black top, black jeans. You can wear a black dress as long as it's form-fitting and shows off your shape to the agency. That really is the standard. But I like to say, just a rule of thumb, just keep it standard with black jeans and a black tank top or black top that shows off your body, and some black heels or nude heels that make you look taller, confident, elevated, and just, the glamorous model that you will become and are. Second question is, what should I wear for digitals? Okay, I just answered that. So you already know the answer to that. Put in the comments what you think you should be wearing when you're actually taking photos for your digitals. Are you gonna be wearing purple tops? Are you gonna be wearing pink jeans? Are you gonna be wearing floral dress? No, you're gonna keep it basic. You're gonna keep it to the standard rule that just shows off, again, your natural form of you. The agencies wanna see you, the most beautiful version of yourself. They want to see your face. They want to see your skin condition. That's so important. They want to see, do you have pores? Do you have pimples? And again, I would say try not to hide these things 100%, because the last thing you want is to have this filtered, edited version of yourself in the digitals. And then when you go in person for an interview or a casting, and your skin is just, it's a completely different look. You don't want to lie and be and deceive the agencies, and they can see through that, and it comes out very unprofessional. So just take care of your skin as a model. That's our number one goal, is to take care of our skin, take care of your teeth, your eyebrows. That's so important. Something that a lot of models kind of skip out on is your eyebrows, because your eyebrows really shape your face. So that's the answer to the second question. Also one more thing I wanted to say is that it's so important to be comfortable. You have to be comfortable whatever you're wearing. So if you're gonna wear heels, please wear something that you can comfortably model in and pose in, okay? All right, next question is, do I need professional photos before applying to an agency? I say no. Write in the comment section below, what do you think? Do you think you need professional photos or not? I say no, that you don't need professional photos. In fact, I actually just did digitals in my own apartment. In my own apartment, I have all white, as you can see, all white walls, right? And so all you need is really good lighting. That's number one. You need an iPhone or some kind of phone camera that's good quality. And that's pretty much it. And like maybe like a tripod. If you don't, unless if you know, I would say try to find a friend or a partner or somebody that can take photos of you. If not, if you have to do it by yourself, just buy a cheap tripod and take a photo that way. But you absolutely, for digitals, you absolutely do not need to hire, you don't need to be paid $500 for the high-end photographer to take pictures of you in your most natural form. Absolutely not. In fact, I would even say that agencies prefer like phone pictures. Like it just looks more natural. It looks like you're not trying hard. And you're a model, you're a beautiful person. You don't need to try hard. You've already got everything you need. All right, so the next question is, what if I've been rejected by agencies before? I would say you're not alone. This is very, very common. In fact, I believe her name is Giselle. That's how you pronounce the name of this model. She's like a supermodel at this point. She's seen all over magazines, advertisements. But did you know that this model, who is supermodel at the level of like a Naomi Campbell, she was rejected about 50 different times from agencies before she got her first yes. Did you know that? Did you know that being rejected is a natural process of joining agencies? And one thing I want you to keep in mind, your first no is not a no. It's a not right now. It's a not at this time. And there's various different reasons why an agency might say no. First, I want to tell you that it's actually great that they responded to you and told you no. Because a lot of girls, put in the comments if you have this experience where you apply to all the different agencies and they just ignore your application. You don't even hear back from them. Days go by, weeks go by, months go by, you don't hear anything back from them. That is, to me, the worst experience, because you don't know if, you just don't know. You're left in the dark. No one wants to be in the dark. We all want to be in the light. And so if you get a no, I want you to actually applaud yourself for that. I want you to say thank you for responding. Thank you for telling me no, because one, it shows me that there's room for improvement, or there's another agency that's going to give me a yes, right? So a no is not a definite answer with agencies whatsoever. Maybe it's your hair, right? So you might have to tweak a few things to find that look that really is marketable for you, for your look, right? Maybe you might have to find the right shape and size. Maybe you might be too thin, right? Maybe you might be too curvy, or whatever it may be. Maybe you need to work out a little bit more, build a little bit of definition. It really does vary, right? Maybe right now they have a lot of girls in that specific agency that look just like you, right? And so I would advise, and I want to put out to your heart that one no does not mean that is the end with any agency. I have multiple friends, modeling friends, that are very, very successful, making over 6 figures in modeling. And the same agency that they're making 6 figures with told them no multiple times before they said yes. So isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing that you know that the first no doesn't mean definite no? Isn't that amazing that there's always an infinite amount of chances to get a yes? So I want you to get yourself back up. I want you to pray to God. I want you to build your confidence, know your value, and know that just because, one agency says no does not mean that lots of agencies aren't going to be pounding at your door for you to join them. Okay? Yes? Awesome. So the next thing is, how do I know if I have the look? How do you know? How do you know if you have that look? So generally when I hear people asking that question, like the look, they're referring to supermodels that you see on magazines, on runways, that have that really striking look, very unique, right? Like, think of like Naomi Campbell's of the world. Very striking, very, body is a 10, baby. They walk down the runway and heads are turning. You know, we can't all be Naomi Campbell's of the world, and that's just a fact. We're all ourselves. Isn't that amazing that you get to be unique as a model? Did you know that there's not one look as a model? Like I said in the beginning, a lot of times people think about like the runway models, the high-end, high fashion models, which is amazing if that's the kind of modeling that you want to do. And I applaud you, especially if you're able to make it in that industry. There are stricter, I would say, requirements to have that look. But I also want to open your mind, because there's a whole different other type of modeling. Did you know that? Did you know that you can be a pretty face that has a beautiful smile, that just has this magnetism about them? They walk into the room and they just glow the room. One of the things people tell me when I walk into the room is I have a beautiful smile. I have a very charismatic smile. In fact, I have gone to photo shoots where all they want me to do is smile the whole time. I don't have to try to be like, strike a pose and do, I just have to be my most natural self. How amazing is that? That you can just go into a photo shoot and just be yourself, smile, look pretty, be girly, show the clothes off a little bit, you know, so just pose in your most natural form, and the photographers are gonna eat you up. So to answer the question, no, you don't have to have a certain look, right? There's, agencies, they're hiring models that are relatable, that can be more lifestyle. For curve models, they even have petite models. They have a whole category for you petite girls. How fantastic is that? You get to be in all of your glory of 5'3", 5'4", and the photographers and the clients are gonna eat you up. How amazing is that? So you don't have to be tall like me, I'm 5'9". You have some models that are 6 foot tall. I used to feel very insecure being next to those girls because I was like, oh, that's what the agencies want. That's what the clients want. But no, baby girl. They want you in your most natural, beautiful form. Think of like the Target. When you walk into Target, when you walk into Ulta, you see those girls, they're laughing. They look like they're enjoying life. They're having a good time. So the gatekeepers are no longer here when it comes to having a specific look. The look is you, and be confident in that. You just have to find what the right market is for you, and I can help you with that. All right, the next one is, can I start modeling if I'm not tall enough for runway? Again, I kind of answered this, but the answer is absolutely yes. There's different forms of modeling beyond just runway. There is something called print, which is like photos, right? There's commercial, there's fitness, there's beauty, there's lifestyle modeling. And all of these types of modeling, they don't require a specific height, right? All of these modelings, you're not gonna be walking down a runway per se. There's some type of modeling that's beyond just the standard, be 6 foot tall and size 0, that do runway, like curve modeling. But generally curve, fitness, lifestyle, commercial, print, generally they are like photos that you take. I think those are the most fun. You get to be a star. You get to literally be a star, and there's gonna be the light, there's gonna be all the lights and the cameras, and you just bask in the stardom that you are. Like straight up, girl, straight up. And one thing I wanted to bring up is, did you know, I want you to come in close. Did you know that you can get paid without your face even being shown as a model? Did you know that? You can get paid $3,000, $5,000 more It's called parts modeling. What does that mean? That means that clients will literally pay you to just show your hands, show your feet. That's it. Straight up. In fact, I did a photo shoot with this company called Cora. They're like a women's hygiene. They do like tampons, pads, and it's all organic, and it's really a beautiful brand. And I was so honored to be a part of that photo shoot. And the photo shoot was actually really just like a full body photo shoot with my face and everything. But the photos they ended up picking were just photos of my hands holding like one of those Diva cups. That's it. Literally. Right? So they had, but even if you're not doing a full body photo shoot, you can do something called parts modeling. Those pay really, really high. They do usually have some quote unquote, it's not strict requirements, but they want to have like for ladies, like nice, dainty, long fingers, you know, not too many lines, clean, you know, nice color. Usually they like colors that's right in the middle, because then they can do a little bit of editing if they need to kind of show the focus as it being like brand it as more being like white hand or like mixed hand or darker skin hand. But even if you're dark skin or light like white skin color, you can still get these parts opportunities. So I would highly advise that you guys look into that, and I'll talk more about that later. The next one is how do I find real agencies and avoid scams? Ooh, mic drop. That is the number one biggest question, is how do I find real agencies and avoid scams? So the first thing is you really want to do your research. You want to research, because the thing about this industry is most people don't have the insider connection to learn about these agencies. Right? Now, it's different for someone like myself, who I have a lot of modeling experience. So if I want to learn about one agency, I can just call up my homegirl or my homeboy and be like, hey, like, I see you're a part of this agency. What's your experience, right? But most people don't have the opportunity. So what you do is you're going to do a lot of research in your city, check out if they're legit websites, go on their social media, see what their social media looks like with the models. Are these models actively being paid to do photo shoots? What type of brands are they working for? So there's a lot more that you need to learn about these agencies. And that's actually what I help with, is I help aspiring models who want to get booked and signed with agencies and get paid, honey, who wants to get flown out. I'm talking about flown out from LA to New York to Europe to random places like Portland, Oregon to Colorado, so that you can just do photo shoots, take pictures, do something that you already love doing, right? So how do you avoid scams? That's also another huge question. I think a lot of times people, there's a lot of scammers out there, right? And so my job is to be like your model fairy godmother. Think of me like that. I help to protect you from the industry scammers, because they're out there and they want to get you. They want to get all your money and get you nowhere, get you no results, and make all these promises and get you absolutely nowhere, right? And so one of the ways you can look out for scams is you never want to pay upfront for an agency to represent you. Keyword, agency to represent you. Now you might think, okay, well, can I pay for coaches and mentors? Yes, absolutely. You can absolutely pay for mentors and coaches. Do your research though, right? Do your research. But the reason I say it's okay for you to pay for coaches and mentors is because once you join a modeling agency, especially if it's a bigger one, they might not have, especially if you're a newer model, the agencies might not have time to develop you as a model. Development is very important as a model, because you don't know much about the industry. You don't know the type of photos of photographers. That is so crucial to get you to the next level as a model. So sometimes it's helpful. Actually, I would say it's always helpful when you have either a mother agency. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to learn more about what a mother agency is. Or if you have a mentor or coach, and this mentor or coach can open up so many doors and opportunities for you and really teach you the business of modeling. Because you don't want to be a model that just goes in and gets jobs once every 3 months. No, you want to get booked, honey. You want to get booked every week. You want to get flown out for Levi's, then the next week you take a trip down to somewhere else to do a shoot for Target. Then you might do something for North Face, maybe even a little bit of Fenty, right? Like that's the kind of momentum you want to have, because you're a superstar and your talent deserves to be recognized. Then the next question, I hope I covered that. Let me know if you want more information on how to join an agency and avoid scams, okay? The next question is, how important is confidence in modeling? Ooh, honey, that's a great question. Let me ask you, let me answer this question by displaying an example, okay? Let's say you're about to go into a casting. I'm gonna give you 2 different examples. And you're gonna tell me which, out of these 2 examples, which one you would want to cast more. And I'm gonna introduce myself to the casting agents, okay? This is the first example. Hi, I'm Hawa. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you guys. Thank you. That's so nice. Thank you. Oh, I think I'm pretty. That's so sweet. Thank you. Oh, very nice, sweet. Thanks. Okay. I'm having a little bit too much fun. That's the first example. Now this is the second example. Hi. Yeah, my name is Hawa. What's your name? Yes, thank you so much for having me here. I'm so honored. I feel so honored to be in your presence and to have this opportunity to do this casting. Thank you so much for the invitation. Yes, I'm a model. I've been a model for about 6 years now, and I have just had so much fun, had such a blast with it, had so many opportunities, and just, I can't wait to see where this will go in the future. Okay, did that kind of show you guys? So out of the 2 examples that I showed, which one showed more confidence, right? Which one would you want to work with more? The first person that comes in, it's kind of awkward and shy, which is okay. I don't even want to say it's okay to be shy, because we want you to be confident, honey. We want you to know your stuff. We want you to strut your stuff. We want you to walk into the room and people look left and right and they say, who is that? I want to work with her. I want her on the photo shoot. Personality shines in this world. I'm telling you. You can have an average face and you smile, you turn your head certain ways, you read the room, you have really good posture. Honey, that goes really, really far. So people will literally cast you just because of the confidence that you exude. So I hope that answers your question. All right, so the next one is, do I need to move to NYC, AKA New York, or LA to be successful? What do y'all think? I want to know. What do you guys think? If you think yes, then baby, you're limiting yourself. If you think no, then round of applause for you. Round of applause, because you're right. You can be anywhere and be a model. There is modeling agencies in dang near every single state. I don't know if there's one in Kansas. I don't know what happens in Kansas, but just kidding. There's probably a lot in Kansas, right? Now, of course, if you're in these major cities, there's gonna be maybe more opportunities, but the amazing part about being in multiple agencies, you always want to be the model. Again, this is the business of modeling. You don't just want to stay in one agency. You want to have multiple agencies in different states. Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't that be amazing if you had an agency in New York, in LA, in Colorado, in Oregon, in all these different states, and they're throwing opportunities at you left and right? Then you get to be the one that's in the power seat, and you get to decide, who do I want to work with? Okay, they send me a shoot for this company. Okay, they send me a shoot for that. Who's paying me higher? Who's fighting harder for me to be flown out? Who's gonna be paying all my bills? to get flown out, right? So you have so many opportunities and options, and please do not limit yourself. There's so many markets exist worldwide. You can even go international. You can even go to Europe. There's even modeling in Africa. Like, Africa is booming nowadays with models, right? So please do not limit yourself. There are some major cities like Miami, New York City, LA. I live in San Francisco Bay Area, honey, and there's still so many work opportunities. It's not the New York City, it's not the LA, but sure as heck got me booked. Okay, so hopefully that answers that question. Then the next thing is, what's the first step if I want to get signed? Drum roll, because that's such an important question, and that's a very common question, right? I would say the first thing that you want to do, I'm gonna give you two firsts. So 2 first steps, okay. Anyway, so the first thing is you have to make a promise to yourself. What's the promise, Hawa? Like, tell us, what's the promise? The promise you have to make to yourself is that you are going all in. You are dedicating yourself to do this, not just as a hobby, and then only if this is something you want to do as a career. If you're just doing modeling just for fun, just because you like the industry and you just get like turned on by the industry, that's totally fine. But if you're doing this as a career, you have to go all in. You have to commit to the process. You have to commit to self-development, as far as a model, posing, all that kind of stuff. But the first step to maybe join an agency and to get signed is you definitely want to have some fantastic, bombastic, I just made that word up, digitals. Because digitals is what you're going to send in. That is going to be basically, you know, when you meet somebody for the first time and that is your first opportunity to make an appearance, and that's how people are going to perceive you. That's the same thing with the digital. The first picture they see is what they hardwire into their brain. This is who she is. This is the market she could potentially go into, or, oh no, she's not viable for our agency, right? So it's important that you have amazing digitals and comp cards that you will be able to send over to legitimate agencies. So that's pretty much it. There's more steps, but I want to let you guys know it's actually not too hard. It's not hard at all. It's not. It's easy. You just have to know the systems and steps in place to land with legitimate high-paying agencies, and I can help you with that. I have a system in place that helps aspiring models to land amazing agencies that want to work with them, that get them paid, and that gets them booked, and preps them up to get to that position to join an agency. So if you're interested to learn more, let me know in the comments below or send me a message. I would love to connect with you. And if you have any other questions, or if you guys love this question and answer, please let me know so I can do some more. Bye.